Gas-powered bikes have been the king of the road for well over a century. But what if the future of biking didn't rumble? It hummed. The question is, are electric bikes just a phase, or are they about to change the game completely? Let's take a real look at where biking may be headed. Imagine this. You twist the throttle and the bike launches forward like a rocket, but there's no engine roar, no vibration, just the wind and that instant whoosh of silent speed. Sounds crazy, right? But electric motorcycles are actually doing this right now. And some of them, they'll smoke your gas bike off the line without even trying. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, come on, electric bikes aren't real bikes, hold up. That's exactly what we're diving into today. What's real, what's hype, and whether electric motorcycles are about to take over the future of riding, or if they're just a passing buzz. And spoiler alert, there's way more going on here than most riders think. So let's get into it. All right, so why are we even talking about electric motorcycles right now? Why does it even matter more today than it did, say, 5 years ago? Well, a few things have shifted, big time. First off, agree with it or not, we have got this massive global shift towards sustainability. Countries all over the world are setting deadlines to phase out gas-powered vehicles, some as early as 2035. Even right here at home, California has set a goal of 100% zero-emission vehicle sales by 2035, with 35% required by 2026, just next year, and 68% by 2030.
Are you serious?
And whether we like it or not, motorcycles are part of that conversation now. Then there's gas prices. We've all felt it. 1 month you're filling up for cheap, and next month it's like paying a cover charge at a nightclub just to get to work. And that unpredictability, it's making a lot of riders think twice about combustion engines. And let's not forget the tech boom. EV technology is moving fast, like faster than a caffeine-fueled MotoGP pit crew fast. What used to be clunky, underpowered electric bikes are now high-performance machines with real muscle and real range. And it's not just startups anymore. Harley-Davidson has been in the game for a while now. BMW, Honda, Yamaha, they're all exploring or producing electronic platforms now. And that is a huge signal that things are shifting. But here's the kicker, and I bet you've noticed this too. Riders are starting to talk. Forums, group rides, even at the gas station, you hear it. Hey, have you seen that new Harley Alpinista that's just been released? Or, man, the torque on that new Zero is wild. Well, maybe not so much about the Harley EVs, but I have heard it. The conversation is already happening out there. So yeah, this isn't just some trendy topic for tech nerds. It's something that's creeping into the real world biker scene, and fast. That's why we're having this conversation today, because the future, it's not just coming anymore. It's already rolling up in the side view mirror. So the question is, what's actually out there and available on the road right now? I mean, we're all hearing the buzz, but let's talk specifics. What can you actually buy today if you even wanted to go electric? Well, first up, we've got Zero motorcycles. These guys have been in the game for over a decade now, and they're kind of like the Tesla of the two-wheel world. Their SRF is a beast. I mean, look at this thing. It's pretty hot looking, and it cranks out 110 horsepower and a ridiculous 140 foot-pounds of torque. That's instant torque, by the way. No revving, no lag, just twist the throttle and blast off. Let's look at and comment on another one, because then there's Harley-Davidson LiveWire, now spun off into its own brand since 2022. Look at this LiveWire 1. It's no joke. It does 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds flat. No gears, no clutch, it just goes. And sure, it's not cheap, but Harley didn't build this to compete with budget bikes. They built it to make a statement. We're in this. And they just recently announced this new S2 Alpinista. Spice Corner recently did an in-depth ride and review of this Alpinista, and look, regardless of how you feel about e-bikes or Harley's recent financial and political woes, it's good. There's also the Energica lineup. Italian-made, track-capable electric sport bikes. These things are legit fast. They're being used in Moto E, the electric version of MotoGP, which shows you how serious the performance potential really is. I mean, check out these highlights from the 2024 Moto E San Marino GP race. All of these bikes, they're all electric bikes. It kind of blows my mind. And for the everyday rider, there's a lot of companies out there. Companies like Sondors, Rivet, and even Super Soco are building urban e-motos that are perfect for short commutes or city zipping. Lightweight, low maintenance, and most of them you can charge in your garage with a regular outlet. Now let's talk numbers. Most e-motorcycles today get anywhere from 70 to 150 miles per charge, depending on how you ride and which model you got. I mean, not bad, right? And some of the newer bikes with larger battery packs, they're pushing 200 miles of range under the right conditions. Plus, charging is getting faster. Some can juice up to 80% in under an hour if you're using a level 3 fast charger. And here's something a lot of folks don't realize. The riding experience is different, but in a good way. It's smoother, more controlled. You don't have to worry about shifting or clutch work or stalling at a light. It's almost like riding a giant torque-filled scooter, but with sport bike performance. Bottom line, these aren't prototypes or sci-fi concepts anymore. Electronic motorcycles are here. They're real, and they're already giving gas motorcycles a real run for their money. All right, let's get into the good stuff. What's actually awesome about electric motorcycles? Because spoiler alert, it's not just about being eco-friendly. First off, instant torque. If you've never ridden an electric bike, this part will blow your mind. The second you twist the throttle, the bike responds. No revving up, no gear shifting, it's just go, go, go. You feel all the power immediately. And I can see how that could be kind of addictive, honestly. There are a lot of great reviews out there from content creators like Spike's Corner and Chase on Two Wheels. Some of these latest e-bikes, they really pack a punch. I mean, take this Zero SRF again. It's pulling 0 to 60 in under 3.5 seconds. And it does that without making a peep. I mean, look at this. It's like being launched by a ninja. Now, let's talk about something that every rider can appreciate. That's low maintenance. No oil changes, no clutch cables, no spark plugs, no exhaust system, and no transmission fluid. It's a massive win for anyone tired of spending weekends wrenching when they could be riding. Just tires, brakes, belt, and go. And fuel? Forget about it. Some of these, plug it into a standard outlet at home, let it charge overnight, and boom, you're ready to ride in the morning. That means you're saving cash every time you skip the gas pump. Depending on where you live, charging up could cost you pennies per mile. That's huge if you're commuting daily or racking up miles. And another big one, the obvious one, no emissions. Now, whether you're in it for the planet or not, cities are starting to get pretty serious about air quality. I mean, noise ordinances, low emission zones, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's coming. And electric bikes are already in the clear. You'll be able to ride in places where gas bikes might get kicked to the curb. And if you ride in the city, electric is quiet, like stealth mode quiet. You're not shaking windows or setting off car alarms. That makes you way less of a target for noise complaints. And honestly, it's kind of peaceful. Oh, and regenerative braking? That's another cool feature. Every time you slow down or go down a hill, the bike recaptures a bit of that energy and feeds it back into the battery. It's not magic, but it is efficient. So yeah, it's not just about being green.
How dare you?
It's about a smoother ride, fewer hassles, lower costs, and having that sweet torque whenever you want it. All right, let's flip that coin over because electric bikes are cool and all, but they are still not perfect. And depending on what kind of rider you are, some of these just may be deal breakers. First up, range anxiety. This is a big one. While top tier electric motorcycles can push 150 or even 200 miles on a single charge, that's under pretty ideal conditions. If you're cruising city streets, then you'll probably be fine. But if you're out ripping twisties, doing highway speeds, or carrying a passenger, that range can drop really fast. And once that battery is low, you can't just pull into a gas station, top off in 5 minutes, and be back on your way. Charging takes time. A level 2 charger might get you to 100% in 4 to 8 hours. Level 3 fast charging is way quicker, maybe 30 to 60 minutes. But those stations, they're not everywhere yet, especially in rural areas, which You know, that's where all the great motorcycle roads are. And even if they were everywhere, charging for an hour every 120 miles could turn a pleasant afternoon ride into an all-day slog. And realistically, it makes taking a long trip on one simply not feasible. Then there's that initial cost. Electric bikes aren't cheap. A brand new Zero or LiveWire model can run you $20,000 or more. That's premium sport touring territory. Sure, you save money over time with lower running costs, but the sticker shock up front is real. Speaking of price, battery degradation is a big concern. Over time, just like with your phone or your laptop, battery starts to lose capacity. Most companies say you'll get about 8 to 10 years out of a battery, but replacing a battery pack could cost you thousands. That's not pocket change. And here's something the old school crowd simply will not let slide. The sound. Or rather, the lack of it. Electric bikes are nearly silent, which is great for sneaking around town, but let's be honest, for a lot of riders, the sound is part of the soul of the bike. That deep rumble, the downshift pops, the throttle blip, it's all gone. You're not going to get that visceral mechanical experience with an electric motor. Another thing is limited models. Right now, if you want a cruiser, a dual sport, or an ADV style electric motorcycle, you got like maybe 1 or 2 options in each category. It's not like with gas bikes where you've got a multitude of choices in every possible niche. The electric space is still catching up. And finally, charging infrastructure. Unless you live in a city with a strong EV network, you'll need to plan your rides around where you can plug in. And that kind of planning doesn't exactly scream freedom. So yeah, while the tech is exciting, it's just not quite replace your gas bike tomorrow ready for everyone. It all depends on your riding style and your budget and how much range and recharge time you're willing to work with. All right, let's put them head to head. Electric versus gas motorcycles. Because the real question isn't which one is better, it's which one is better for you. So let's break it down by what actually matters to most riders. First of all, performance. Gas bikes have always ruled this space. Raw horsepower, crazy top speeds, that visceral feeling of shifting through gears. But here's the shocker. Electric bikes aren't just catching up, they're leaping ahead in some areas. Instant torque, electric wins. Smooth acceleration, electric again. But if you're a fan of that mechanical connection, gear shifts, engine braking, engine feel, yeah, gas still delivers that in a way electric hasn't quite replicated. Then there's range and refueling. And gas takes the win here, hands down. For now. You can get 200 to 250 miles on a tank and refill in under 5 minutes anywhere in the country. Whereas electric bikes, you're looking at 100 to 150 miles if you're lucky, and then a longer wait to recharge. And only in specific places that you need to have located ahead of time. For city commuting, that's fine. But for touring or long day rides, gas still has the upper hand. Maintenance? No contest, electric wins. No oil changes, no spark plugs, no air filters, no clutch, no gearbox, just brakes, tires, and the occasional software update. That's a huge plus for riders who they just want to ride, not wrench. And then for cost, yeah, this is a tricky one. Electric bikes cost more on average up front, but then they save you money over time. Fewer maintenance costs, cheaper fuel, and in some places you also get tax incentives and rebates. Gas bikes, on the other hand, are more affordable up front, again on average, but those little costs like oil changes, fuel, and tune-ups, they add up over the years. Electric might come out ahead in the long run, but only if you keep it long enough to see those returns. And when you put these up against some of the pricier options from brands like Harley and Indian, or premium sport brands like Ducati and BMW, electric might even be cheaper right off the bat. Now for the environment, yeah, this one's obvious. Electric bikes produce 0 emissions while running. Gas bikes, not so much. But it gets a little nuanced when you talk about how that electricity is generated or what happens to those batteries at the end of their life. We're not going to veer off into politics here, but a lot of people are going to make the argument here that you're just trading one scarce earth material for another. And lithium and cobalt mining still has huge environmental impacts, and at least in present day, under very harsh and exploitive human conditions. Still, in terms of actual tailpipe impact, electric bikes are cleaner, period. Now when it comes to riding experience, this one's personal preference. If If you love the sound, the smell of fuel, and the ritual of starting up a gas engine, electric bikes might feel sterile. But if you're into smoothness, torque on demand, and just cruising without changing gears or stalling, then you'll love what electric offers. It's like going from a manual stick to a Tesla. And as far as availability options go, yeah, gas wins this one hands down again. For now, tons of models, types, sizes, and price points. Electric still has a pretty small catalog, and no true electric cruisers as far as touring and distance goes. They've got limited ADV models, although the ones that they do have out already look pretty damn cool. And unless you're in a big city, demo rides and dealerships for electric bikes could be pretty hard to come by. So yeah, it's not a clear-cut winner on either side. Really depends on how you ride, where you ride, and what kind of experience you're after. For some people, electric is already a perfect fit. For others, it's not even anywhere close. So here's the part that really gets interesting. What's coming next for electric motorcycles? Because what we're riding right now is just version 1.0, and the stuff coming on the horizon is pretty wild. First up, solid state batteries. If you hadn't heard of these yet, this is the next big leap in battery tech. They promise way more range, faster charging, and a lot more safety than the current lithium-ion batteries that we're using today. And we're talking potentially 400 to 500 miles on a single charge, and then you recharge in just 15 minutes. Companies like Honda and BMW are already investing heavy in this tech. And it's not science fiction. It's being tested in the real world right now. If you could go 500 miles on one tank of an electric motorcycle and then refuel in just 15 minutes, would that change your mind about electric motorcycles? It's something to consider. Then there's wireless charging. Yeah, like how you charge your phone, but for bikes. Imagine parking your bike on a charging pad in your garage or at a coffee shop, and it just starts topping up without you having to plug up anything. That's already in pilot programs in Europe and Asia. And swappable batteries are another game changer that's coming. Brands like Gogoro and Honda, they're already testing out systems where you just roll up to an exchange point, hand them your drained battery, and get a fresh one. No line, no waiting, no long charging. Think of it like pulling up to your local Lowe's or Home Depot for a propane tank exchange, except for motorcycles. Yeah, that would be especially useful for urban commuters. And check this out, AI-powered ride tuning. As electric bikes get smarter, we're going to start seeing customizable performance profiles. We're talking real-time learning and apps that adjust your bike's behavior based on how and where you want to ride. Want smoother throttle response in the rain? More aggressive regen braking in the mountains? It'll all be tweakable from your phone. And on the brand side, legacy giants are diving in headfirst. Yamaha's launching new e-bikes, Kawasaki has new hybrid models, and Harley-Davidson already spun off LiveWire into its own brand, and they just dropped a lower price street bike in the S2 Alpinista. This isn't a one-off experiment anymore. This is a long-term strategy. And here's the kicker. It may not be there right now, but EV infrastructure is scaling hard. Charging networks are popping up in more rural areas, in national parks, at roadside rest stops, and even in remote touring routes. The gaps that used to hold e-bikes back, they're slowly getting filled in. Bottom line, what feels almost there right now could feel completely normal in just a few years. We're not just watching evolution, we're riding it. All right, let's take a second and take a step back. Let's forget about the tech and the torque and the range. Let's talk about the culture of riding. Because let's be real here, bikes aren't just machines, they're identity. They're about rebellion, freedom, community, and therapy. So the real question here is, are electric bikes part of that world? Or are they just a trendy gadget? Right now, the biker scene is kind of split. Some riders look at electric bikes and go, cool science project, but where's the soul? They miss that rumble, the smell of fuel, the way a gas bike talks to you through every little vibration. And that's a fair assessment. Riding a Harley Softail and riding a LiveWire are vastly different experiences. But here's the other side. There's a growing wave of younger, tech-forward riders who see electric bikes not as a compromise, but as an upgrade. These are folks who grew up with smartphones and Teslas and AI. For them, riding electric isn't less, it's just different. It's cleaner, quieter, and in some ways, for them, more connected. And honestly, we've seen all this before. Remember when fuel injection hit the market? Old school riders were like, no carb? No way. Or when ABS started showing up? That's for cars, not bikes. But over time, both of those things became standard. And it might be the same with electric. Resistance now, acceptance later. Plus, you've got influencers and YouTubers taking electric motorcycles on serious adventures. People are favorably reviewing them. They're racing them and modding them. There's even entire ride clubs formed around specific electric models. The shift isn't hypothetical. It's already happening, just not everywhere at once. That said, it's still a very long way to go before electric bikes feel normal in every corner of the motorcycle world. I mean, roll up to a small town bike night on an SRF and people might look at you like you just pulled up on a spaceship. But you know what? That's how every revolution starts. A little weird, a little different, until it's not. So, is it a niche? Yeah, right now. But is it staying a niche forever? Not very likely. The culture's bending. Slowly maybe, but it's bending. So after all of that, are electric motorcycles the future? Well, yeah, but maybe not how you think. If you're expecting every rider to suddenly ditch their gas bike for something silent, sleek, and software-driven overnight, yeah, not gonna happen. Gas-powered bikes aren't going away anytime soon. They're too good, too embedded in the culture, just too much fun. But electric motorcycles, they're not just a phase. They're here, they're growing, and they're getting better fast. We're talking cheaper, faster charging, longer range, better features. It's not just about saving the planet. It's about performance, convenience, and yes, for some people, curiosity. What we're seeing right now isn't the death of gas bikes. It's the birth of a second lane. Parallel universe where riding still means freedom, it still means fun, and it still means hitting the road and forgetting your worries, but done differently. Will it be the only way to ride in the future? Maybe. Will it be your way? That's the real question. Because whether you're wrenching in your garage or leaning hard into a mountain curve or silently cruising through city streets, we're all chasing the same feeling. And in the end, it doesn't matter what powers the bike as long as it powers your soul. All right, gang, that's it for this one. I hope it gave you something to think about the next time you fire up your bike or plug it in. And I'd love to hear your take on this. Are you curious about electric bikes or are you totally against them? Maybe you already made the switch. Drop it in the comments. I try to read every one and I usually reply. And if you got some value out of this video, then hit that like button. It really helps more riders find the channel. In the meantime, we'll keep bringing you along for our rides, whether it's gas or electric. And until then, we'll see you in the next one.